Good morning, everyone. Today's Tuesday, December the 4th. This is Anne Marie. We are looking at the futures in 5. We've got a spread in the SPX of about 20 off the strike for motion. That's what the traders are priced in. So we're looking at about the ranges between 27.70 and 28.10. You can see we've already stretched down a bit there, filling the gap. We really have to think about whether filling the gap in the pre-market in this kind of motion is going to be able to accelerate movement to the upside. So far, we fill the gap and really have started building back up. The space we're going to see the most of the noise is around 27.90. That's going to give us a bit of a pickle here in my mind. What is the formation? We have flat adaptive moving average, we have bullish undercurrent, and that means support to resistance, resistance to support until we have a break, right? So we're going to look at something like this that flattens and then either breaks out or flattens and breaks down. Here's the thing. When momentum is very high like this, flat will try to break out first. So that's what we really need to watch in the space. Taking a look at the NQ, did the same sort of thing, didn't quite fade the gap. I don't know why the Mickey Mouse hand is sitting here, but it is. And so this action here is telling us, we've got a little bit of motion left to fill in, but everybody's bouncing, and sometimes gaps just don't fill all the way because of enthusiasm about buying. So the question is, how well do we get up over 70.41? That's going to be the number to watch today. It was the number to watch the fail yesterday, and a failed bounce gave us some very interesting motion. Now we're going to be looking at the same sort of thing in reverse. How well does it hold above 70.41? If it does, it's going to go into the thin auction volume event at around 70.79 to, maybe even 71.02. Really depends on how much pressure is building. Again, flat moving average in a bullish formation that is saying I want to test support, but it's already tested support. So we're looking at a little bit of bounce action that's potential to rise in the space where we're looking at, holding the Santa Claus rally in place. This is the chart that's come in most cleanly to its gap fill. And what it did very nicely is just bounce into the space. Now, what are we looking at? A flat moving average. We're underneath it. We have a little bit of motion that says downside action, but really it's just told us, hey, listen, I'm coming into support. And so we are expecting a bounce area back up into this zone. Now, if we can get up and over 25,820, something like that, and then pull back and hold this part of the volume profile event, we could easily stretch forward again into these edges up here where we've had these alert structures. All right. Does the chart have a chance of breaking out again? Anything's possible. I'm going to think no, because I expected the fade action yesterday, and we had a first pass bounce and then a fade over, and I'm going to expect another fade into the real area of congestion down here. Just remains to be seen if this moving average is flat and this momentum stays up here. We're going up, right? We are going up. It doesn't mean we're going to hold up, but it does mean that we are going up, and we'll test our resistance zones. Taking a look at oil, this one, look at how nicely it came into last week's point of control, um, and then is rejecting. Here it's sitting in week before last, excuse me. The week before last, low volume node came in, and now it's trying to bounce off of this area. What's happening here? A lot of things, but slope is up, momentum is up, and so that means my pullbacks are buy zones. Doesn't mean my breakouts are buy zones because this is an entirely congested region. So the edges are where you're going to get maximum output for what you're doing. Just remember, if you have a profile that's got a strong momentum indicator, like this one, a stochastic momentum index by William Blau, when it pops up, because it came from way under here, it does have the likelihood of pulling back into deeper support zones. All right, so far we've got low, high, retest of the low, higher high. So why not a retest of the current low in the space? Here's the thing, if we hold above the 5380-ish area, we've got a pretty good shot of stretching ourselves into this zone. Of course, above this area, it's very thin volume, and we could have much more upside pressure. Gold, I've been talking about gold saying, hey, listen, it's a buy zone, deep pullbacks, buys. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Let's look for the next pullback. Where could it be? Old resistance, new support. We've got a tremendous amount of upside pressure all the way across. So, old resistance is way down here. So if we have to look at the tighter edges and we see that this area gives us a breakout zone, as long as we stay up above this 1243 area, we've got more upside with a target into 1252. All right, that concludes the futures in 5.